Thank you for joining in today. And for today's video, I decided to do a fun Bob Ross painting tutorial. I know that this is quite the popular tag going around YouTube, and even some of like the beauty people have joined in on it. But anyways, I do enjoy painting, so I picked out an easy one here. And this is going to be my take on it, more like an inspiration. And for starters, I am starting out with the clear medium there to help the paint blend a little bit better. And that is also what he suggests. And then I'm going to put the blue all over on the top for the sky. And it was light in the middle and deeper on the corners. And then the bigger dry brush is for blending. I have a few clips that I will insert throughout the video that are actually from his video. It was the Mountain Ridge Lake from season 23. And when you're done with the water on the bottom and using the bigger brush to feather out the edges and blend everything really nice, then we're going to move on to the clouds up top.
But think about a basic cloud shape. Don't just throw it up there and think that a cloud will appear. You have to have a basic shape to work with. Something about like that. What the heck? We don't care.
He suggests using circular motions, so that's what I'm doing there. And then I'm going to gradually blend it out as I go down and then like feather it up with the big dry brush. I'm also going to deepen up the edges on my water a little bit because they're a little bit too light at the moment. And the white is going to go in the center for the highlight. Okay, now I'm mixing just a little bit of black, white, and just as I have like a tiny bit of green in there. And this is going to be the color for my mountains. I let my painting dry up a little bit, and just because I didn't want it smearing in with the sky and the clouds and everything. And his palette knife is a little bit different than mine, but he does use his palette knife to put on the mountains. So I did like a combination. I started out a little bit and then I went in with a small detailed brush. And then of course a little bit of white for highlights. And you're going to need a few different shades of gray so for some variation. And then I'm just blending in the green for some grassy areas. And he just used a little bit of like a cadmium yellow and some green to make like a nice sap green color. His colors are pretty bright in his work. So I added a little bit more yellow, and then again with that bigger brush, he does some what I would call like a scumbling. So it's not a whole lot of detail, but it just creates that little bit of texture in the grassy areas. And then of course you can use your like a small pointy brush and put on some of the trees. He does use a fan brush to do a lot of his work. I used to have one. I don't know what happened to it, but I have to order another one. But they're very good to indicate like the branches and some of like the skinnier areas. Those brushes come in handy. And then I'm just pulling down a little bit and working on the reflection. And I actually added a little bit too much in my reflection, so I was just peeking at his tutorial there, and I will show how I go in and switch things all around a little bit here in the end. Back up through the trees, I'm using a little bit of yellow for highlight. One thing I did notice too, I'm just using a tiny bit of red because he always signs his name in red. At least every tutorial I've ever watched, he's used red. And then I just toned down the shadows and the reflections and all that with the blue, and I just added a couple of my own and just made that a lot smoother. Overall, this was a really fun tutorial. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and feel free to thumbs up and subscribe.